Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Boss Rush Gamescast, a podcast where we talk about our predictions for the upcoming winter. Guys, how are we feeling in our bones? Are we getting that creaking feeling that winter's just going to be absolutely horrible this year?
As a Wisconsin resident, yes.
As a Colorado resident, no.
No?
Wow, no. Colorado does whatever the crap it wants to do.
Yeah.
We can go
So
from
far,
like
right.
70-degree weather straight to snow the next day.
Yeah.
I know, I've heard that. Like, you guys can get, like, pounded with snow, like, in the morning. And then, like, by the afternoon, it could be, like, most, if not all the way melted.
Yep.
That's wild to me. That's wild to me.
Yeah, there's been a running joke. There's been a running joke for several years where Colorado will often go through all 4 seasons in like a day.
Yeah.
I believe it. That's mountain life, baby.
Yep. Wisconsin can go through all 5 seasons if we include construction season, which happens during the snow as well. It's
Why do they do that?
I
No,
don't
they
know,
just no. I feel
they
like a
block
lot of the
traffic.
I feel like a lot of projects they just like, well, nope, we're just gonna abandon it all winter, so we're just gonna leave these cones up, and then we're gonna like use those construction areas to pile extra snow onto it, making it absolutely worse. Like,
It is true, but they have to at least close down like a lane or two before they decide to just quit. You know, they
Oh, of
can't
course, yeah.
reopen it again.
yep. And then we're like, okay, guys, we're just gonna be here for the rest of the winter.
They're like, what's
Yep.
the most we can inconvenience people without getting in trouble? We're close 2
Yep.
lanes. It's fine.
Yep.
Well, yeah, and they'll do it right in the middle of a freeway intersection too, and say this is a 7-year project now.
Yep. Yeah, they're doing that to the outside of where I work. You know, the Miller Park interchange.
Yep.
They're doing that big like 7-year projects, and of course it affects my commute because everybody detours through the VA grounds, and it's like annoying. But
I don't take the freeway. I used to take the freeway and get off at that exit. I can't do that anymore. I have to take side streets to get home now. It's
Yep, yep, yep.
faster.
yep,
But
it
yeah,
really is
winter-
sometimes.
I feel though that this is going to be a very, very horrible winter, and I feel this way because of the fact that it is fall time still, and we've already had more of a winter in fall than we've had last winter.
I agree. I've had to shovel 3 times already.
I just looked outside my window. There's snow on the ground again. And on the roads. It's like, what the heck? Didn't we just do this? And we're getting another snowstorm on Friday with like 6 more inches.
Stealing all our snow.
I was like, is it actually snowing again?
I don't think it ever stopped. It may have stopped, but no. Yeah. Well, I guess when we're not talking about our forecast of the upcoming winter, we are going to talk about video games. Here, we like to have a deeper conversation into the games or series that matter. I am one of your hosts, Patrick Klein, and alongside me is the girl who I'm pretty sure has coffee in her veins, Jess Taylor.
Hello, everyone. Happy to be back.
And for the first time ever, I get to introduce the next co-host of the Gamescast, Mr.
Ooh, you're gonna call me Art?
I was going to call you Art. I don't know why I was going to call you RC. I meant to say Retro.
Arthur? Okay,
Mr. Arthur. Arthur. No.
Arthur, we just need a little money.
I just had a conversation with someone about that the other day who mentioned they think Jeffrey Dean Morgan just recently came out, said he wants, like, if they ever did a Red Dead Redemption movie, he wants a shot at Arthur Morgan.
I hope so.
He's more of a Dutch kind of person, to be perfectly honest.
Okay, that makes sense.
Anyways, let me introduce Mr. Retro Stoy.
Thank you very much for the opportunity to join you once again in the podcasting universe.
Yep. I think we should just change the name to EXPcast Part 2. Or yes.
You know what? We'll just we'll slowly do that. You know, we don't want to like shock people right away. So we'll just slowly add letters to the end of it every episode.
the Boss Rush Gamescast EXP. Wait a minute,
right.
what's that?
What,
What's the
EXP?
name?
Extra, and then
Yeah. And we have a very special guest with us. He is who we come to every time we want to talk about the Tales games because he has got the deep knowledge in all of it. Please welcome Just Taylor's brother, Just Josh.
Thank you. Glad to be back. I don't know about this time, though. There's a lot of Tales of games to talk about this time, and
I will say I am pretty shocked.
Years.
I will say I'm pretty shocked at this list.
Oh yeah.
I threw a link to a Wikipedia article that actually has like all 47 games on it. If you guys just wanted to take a look at that later, you can see exactly what all the mobile, PC titles and like how half of them don't exist anymore.
Oh,
anyways,
games preservation.
Before we get into that, though, that's the thing about the mobile games. Unfortunately, it's once the servers are down, it's gone.
Out. R.I.P. Flappy Bird.
Yep. So, guys, we have all played a game. All four of us have played this game. This is a very rare occurrence, not only for any of the other podcasts I've been to. I think this is also like one of the first times in this podcast, 4-episode history, that all of us have played the same game. Actually, no. You know, I take that back. There's only been one episode where all of us have not played the same game. And that was last time's episode. So, you know what? Good for us. We're keeping good here. And that's Metroid Prime 4. Beyond.
It's the most Metroid action Prime my Switch 2 has seen since I bought it.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, I played a lot of Mario Kart World, Donkey Kong Bonanza. I suppose. You know, maybe I do take that back. I played a lot of Donkey Kong Bonanza.
I guess we'll have to see that Switch wrap when it comes
I guess so,
out.
Yeah.
Best way to keep track of that.
Ooh, the PlayStation wrap, didn't that come out recently?
It came out today.
Yeah.
It did, okay.
Yep. To no one's surprise, my number one was Genshin Impact with like a bazillion hours. Every year.
What's I found crazy about mine is that I literally had the exact same hours as I did in 2024. 1,064 hours of PlayStation games for both years.
It means you're consistent.
I guess so.
Do you have to access it when you go onto the PlayStation 5, or can you access it on the app?
You could do it on the app. You have to go to the website.
Oh, you got to go to the website. Okay, got it.
Yeah, right. I don't know why they don't have it in the app, because I went to the app first too, and then I had to Google it and go to the website. I'm like, just put it in the app.
Yeah, I had the app pop up on my phone. It's like, oh, your wrap-up's here, and I click on it, and it says me straight to the website. And I'm like, I can do this on my computer.
Yeah.
Like, what's the point?
Yeah.
Then it's like, I don't recognize this device. Let me send you codes. What were we doing again? Oh, yeah. You wanted to see your wrap. Yeah. So, guys, Metroid Prime 4. We have waited how many years for this game to come out? It's been what?
I don't know, actually.
Like 8?
It's been 7 or 8 years.
7 years, I think, since that first trailer, right?
Mm-hmm. But it's been even longer since an actual Metroid Prime game has come out.
Yeah.
So this is kind of like a big deal for a lot of Metroid stands out there.
Dang.
Especially because we've had 2 2D Metroids come out since then to ease the pain a little bit, so to say.
Yeah, I just Googled the release date for Metroid Prime 3, and it was 2007.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Even 18 years since Prime 3. Wow.
Wow. It is well beyond its prime now. That's for sure.
You could not wait to say that, huh?
I can throw that in there.
Yeah.
I think it's been 2 generations, because Prime 3 came out on the Wii?
The Wii.
Yes, we had the Wii U and the Switch, and now the Switch 2.
Yeah, I can't believe. Like, I mean, really, honestly, yeah, we didn't get a Metroid game for the Wii U at all, and then all we got for the Switch was Dread.
Yeah,
I mean, yeah,
I swear they just put that together. They were just like, we haven't put a Metroid game out in a while. Just put something together.
Yeah, you did forget the Metroid Samus Returns. I want to say Return Samus.
Oh yeah,
that's the second one.
Yeah, it wasn't that the
3DS.
3DS.
The 3DS. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, that was what Metroid 2 remake.
Yep.
Yeah, it was actually pretty good.
God, it was really good. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I liked how it was both refreshing but also familiar.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But I also like how Metroid Prime 4 also feels very familiar. I mean, it felt pretty. My hands wanted to kind of go back into like some old like button, I guess, like muscle memory, because every time I hit the visor, I was thinking I was going to Morph Ball, but I opened the visor.
Okay, that's not just me.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
So I think that
still
one
do
definitely
that.
changed. Yeah. No, I when I start frantically hitting buttons during boss battles, it's like, I need the visor. No, not the Morph Ball. Get out of the Morph Ball. Give me the visor.
Yeah.
I need the Morph Ball, not the visor.
Yeah.
What do you guys think of this?
I do miss the. I mean, I know like the A button can be used to shoot.
Mm-hmm.
However, I do miss the big green A button on the GameCube controller. I really felt that when I was playing Metroid Prime Remastered. And I know, like, obviously using the trigger, but if you're firing off shots, multiple shots at an enemy, man, that finger gets. I mean, that gets fatigued after a while. So then all of a sudden I'm switching to this, and it's like, well, I need to move and reticule my, reticule around. So it's like my fingers are like twitching like this, going back and forth. And then I'm also trying to like sprinkle in some like, missile shots and stuff. And it's like,
and don't forget the dodge button, which is the other button,
Which, of course, the dodge button, I always end up just jumping sideways anyway. The dodge never works for me.
Yeah.
It sounds like I'm complaining, but I'm really not. It's I'm having a blast with this game. But man, are those little things that are just like, oh, I jumped again.
It feels like the control scheme was meant for motion control.
Yeah, has anyone played this in mouse mode?
No, I don't have anywhere to put a mouse because I play on the couch, like a couch gaming with a TV. I have nowhere to put the mouse.
Well, you're in luck because that mouse thing can work on couch cushion and your leg if you wanted to use it that way.
I don't want to do that.
Yeah, who wants to do that?
All those who have played the Welcome Tour from that came $9 with the Switch would know that.
Oh yeah, that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I do think it was made for motion control. Just because, like, at the beginning when it wants you to select which control scheme, both of them mention motion stuff, and I have the Pro controller, and I remember I stared at it and I was like, neither of these are Pro controller like schemes. Like both of them were like, oh, motion, and I picked the first one. So I was like, what do I do with my controller? I can't move the controller. But the one thing I don't like, I don't think this was in previous Prime games. I could be wrong. I don't like that when you aim target onto an enemy, you have to move the Joy-Con. Like it moves your cursor around. If that makes sense.
That's I believe something brand new to this game. It's like a free motion aiming system where it locks onto the enemy, but you have to still move to like target.
Yes. I don't like that. I'm not used to that so far. Since I've only played like a few hours, but like I'm just used to targeting on something and I'm just shooting it. Like, oh, I'm targeted. It's fine. And now like I'll target onto like a boss, and if the boss moves, I'm still aiming away from it and I'm missing, and then I'm like, oh, I have to realign or just retarget, like untarget and retarget or whatever. But that actually bothers me so far. So maybe I'll get used to it as the game goes on. But right now, I don't like it. I'm just like, I just want to be able to target and it stays targeted. I don't like that I have to adjust it.
This is
It's
the
cool
first
for
Metroid
puzzles, but-
Prime Dread game with dual analog sticks, though, right? Like, I wonder if that's
Unless
the
you
reason.
count the remaster. The remaster,
Yeah, that's true.
I think, had the ability for that.
But I thought
know
whatever.
Corruption had Wiimote controls, which I don't remember. I only played Corruption once, and I have like absolutely no memory of like what happened in Corruption.
Same.
I don't either because I actually didn't like Metroid Prime 3. It's my least favorite of the Prime games.
You're
So
telling
I
me
just forgot
Other
it.
M is better than Metroid Prime 3? Is that what you're saying?
No, of the
Yes.
Prime games.
Oh yeah, I suppose you're right. Yeah.
If something's better than Other M, we're in trouble.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will agree with you, Taylor. I'm not a fan of the lock-on feature, especially when later on in the game, the lock-on just focuses right onto the center of the bad guy and not necessarily to the weak point of the bad guy.
Mhm.
So they're moving around, and you're doing the moving thumb check, trying to get the damn cursor while moving your character, and it's like you're literally moving almost 3 different things just to try to focus on the bad guy.
You don't remind me. I struggled so hard on the tutorial boss because of that. It kept locking onto his stomach, and I'm like, I have to aim at these things. I'm like, why are you doing this to me?
The guarding.
Yeah.
I struggled there too because I was like, wow, we're just opening up with the hardest boss at this right way in the beginning. I can't
Skill
latch
check
onto these
right
guys.
there.
Yeah.
It's like, well, guess we're going back to Metroid Dread.
I guess so.
Second with no.
No, I'm just gonna go back and play Super Metroid. Feel good about myself again.
True.
I don't know. For me, that one was like one of the harder ones. But I also remember getting stuck on Mother Brain without enough ammo, and there's no way to replenish, and you had to hit her with like super missiles, otherwise nothing happened.
Yeah. Those are the days
Miss-
where you just really had to plan ahead.
Yep. If you went to the final boss before you had everything, guess you just lost. Yeah. All right. So in this game, obviously it's kind of like a side story. I haven't really noticed any connection to Metroid Prime. I feel like they kind of finished that off anyways with Corruption. So like they wanted to just have I think they went out and stated that Prime is just going to be the name of what we call the 3D Metroids now going forward, and doesn't necessarily connotate to the Metroid Prime, which was the boss in the first game. And so we got ourselves another 3D Metroid. For me, it felt very much like Metroid Prime did. It's got a lot of that nostalgic feelings of I'm going to scan literally everything I can possibly scan that's a different color. There's these puzzle elements. It's like it's half combat and half puzzle. A little bit of an exploration, feature. I don't feel it. I feel this game's a little more linear, though. I don't know what you guys think about it.
I'm not far enough yet, but I've heard other people say they feel it's linear. That's like one of the complaints I've heard.
I agree. I think they wanted to try to, and this isn't spoiler territory, I think they wanted to emulate the Breath of the Wild formula a little bit. Kind of. But because there is really only one order to go in. However, it wasn't as like Metroidvania like the other Prime games were. Like I feel like it is a little bit more linear, but it's still that kind of like open, vast Metroid Prime feel. That makes sense.
Yeah, I almost got like a Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time feel with this game, where you have an open field that is connected to the region, the other regions in the game, and those regions are more the self-contained levels where you get items, use said items to progress even further, eventually find a boss and get the MacGuffin, the colored MacGuffin at the end. And then you just kind of rinse repeat using your new tools to progress further in a different region of it. I mean, I'm not complaining about that though. I do like the Metro, or I do miss that old style of Legend of Zelda. So I'm kind of happy that Metroid at least picked that up. But in that regard, it does not feel quite like Metroid Prime did. Just because it's more guided and linear, and the worlds feel more corridory versus allowing you to explore and hit walls and then, figure out where to go from there.
Yeah, some of them are like that. Obviously, without avoiding too much, but I did feel like some levels each level was designed completely different from each other, which I liked because that it was like, okay, all right, I wonder what this stage is going to be like. I wonder what this area is going to be like, and they're all completely different. So it's like cool, like it's a little bit something new every time you go into a new area. So
yeah.
But I mean, if I could just stay in Volt Forge, the whole game and just listen to that banging track, to me, the game could have finished there, and I would have been happy.
Man, wait till you get to some of the other levels and listen to their banging tracks or their screeching tracks.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of people call this game like sci-fi Zelda because, as you said, every area seems like designed for its own separate like dungeon, as opposed to being interconnected.
Yeah,
I think that's 100% accurate. Like, this is old school Zelda.
Yeah.
Oh man!
At least in the other Metroids, like each level kind of connected to at least two others. But this one, the only connection is Soul Valley, the giant desert. You can't really get from like the tree area to Volt Tower, or Volt Tower to any of the other areas.
Yeah,
you have to go through the desert and able to get there. So
like the desert's the center, and then every area is off the desert.
Yeah, the desert's the central hub.
Oh, okay. I can see because I haven't made it far enough to really have that opinion. But that is interesting because, like, obviously, previously on other Metroid games, you could just walk around everywhere and get to different areas and stuff like that.
Yeah, there wasn't any big open areas like that, or like long elevator rides that would just take you to a completely different area.
Yeah.
Those good old long elevator rides. No, it's now it's either a motorcycle ride or it's a running montage.
Oh yeah. I think I remember that first one. Yeah, where she was just kind of walking and then all of a sudden she
Oh yeah, the Volt Forge. Like, oh
yeah,
need the bike. Guess I'll just go this way.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking to myself, is that suit automatic? Because otherwise, like, she has got to be getting tired.
It's got to be. It's got to be automatic. It's the future.
Yeah.
What do we think of Miles McKenzie?
Okay.
A lot of the media, man, tore this guy apart.
Okay. Now that I've played, I don't know. In my opinion, I think the reviewers hardcore overreacted.
100%.
He is nowhere near as bad as they made it seem at all, and I cannot believe they complained about it that much. I personally find his dialogue funny. He's made me laugh quite a few times. I don't think he gets in your way a lot. He lets you like do your own thing, and it hasn't felt handholdy so far to me. I know like there's been a couple times, like in Volt Forge, he's like, oh, you should go down here and do this. Here's your objective. But like it didn't bother me because I just felt like he was there to tell you where to go or something. I know like in previous games you don't have that. So it, like you have, your little question mark appear on your map thing, like do, and you're like, oh, I'm supposed to go here for some reason. So maybe people are complaining because they just prefer doing it on their own as opposed to an NPC being like, oh, you should go to the generator and do this and take the elevator and stuff. But to me, it wasn't that bad. Like, I just feel like it was not very handholdy to me. And he does not annoy me. And I said, I find him funny. To me, I couldn't believe they complained that much about this guy. I was like, no.
Yeah.
Yeah. Josh, how do you feel about him?
So far he's fine. My only little nitpick was when he got the missiles. and you had to save him from the enemies. And he was like, "Oh, use the missiles to shoot him off the cliff." And I'm like, "I was already doing that, Bucko." You told me twice.
Figured that out already.
Yeah. So for now, he's fine. As Taylor said, he's kind of funny, especially when he like used the psychic powers to open some doors. He's like, "Whoa, how'd you do that? That door opened by itself." And I'm like, "Yeah."
Did you just scan me? What does it say?
I know that made me laugh because I did the same thing, and I'm like, yeah, if someone scanned, if Samus scanned me, I'd be asking the same thing. I'd be like, what's it say about me? Like, I want to know.
From my understanding, the biggest complaint people have is apparently he talks a lot in the desert. Well, I'm not in the desert yet.
Not even. That's not spoiler territory. Not even.
Yeah. Because we're not. I was saying we're not the desert yet. Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, I can attest to that. He just gently reminds you to smash green crystals every now and then.
He does remind me of green crystals. Then he does say, "Oh, you know, if you have any questions, feel free to ask me." Or, you know what, you haven't explored this place in a while. Maybe you should go check that. Like, he does make those mentions, but usually once he made those mentions, he doesn't say anything, you know, for like a long time. At least I don't even know if he says anything after that, unless you like literally restart the game, like turn it off and turn it back on again.
No, he reminds me to smash green crystals every now and then. He's like, "Don't forget to smash those green crystals." I'm like, "Thanks."
By the way, did you know green crystals?
Yeah, right. Thanks. I'm doing that right now.
Yeah.
God, I love green crystals out there in the sand. Oh man, I'll be like going to objective and I'll see something on the right and I'll be like, "I got to smash those green crystals." And then
really?
Yeah. So I'll smash the green crystals and then I'll be like, "Okay, I got to look at the map again. Okay, which way am I going?" And then all of a sudden, man.
When you smash the green crystals, do you like smash the brake button so that you're kind of like sliding into it?
Hell yeah.
You know,
hell yeah. Hell yeah, I do. Yeah, you don't need to do that, but hell yeah, I do that.
I do that too.
Hell yeah.
That's like
you
my
have
favorite
to.
way to break those.
I'm going to do that now when I get to that point.
Yeah, they call it the Akira slide.
The Akira slide, yeah.
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 Funny.
Yeah, to me, he honestly kind of reminds me of Peter Parker from Spider-Man, to be perfectly honest. He's got that nerdy, like cool nerdy appeal to him, and honestly, I think he's actually, other than one other character in the game, I think he's probably my favorite of the Federation forces that you meet. Yeah. My favorite actually being the one that you meet for... That's the last one you meet. Stoy knows who it is.
I know the last one.
Yeah, he's my favorite.
Wait.
Yes, that one.
That one? Okay.
That one.
All right.
Yes. Pretty cool, huh?
Okay, that'll be an interesting conversation we'll have later. Okay. I'm just gonna.
You know what I'm thinking.
I think I know. I think I know.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna text it to you, and I want you to tell me yes or no.
His phone's over there, though.
If it's the one I'm thinking of, I have a feeling I know what you're talking about.
It's the one.
I see a couple people. I've seen a couple people be like, "Oh yeah, this person. Yeah, we're married now."
Yeah, it's the one that starts with a V.
With a V?
It's
okay.
The character who starts with V.
Okay, all right. Never. Okay, I know what you're talking about then.
Well, I haven't seen anything, but I guess I'll find out in a couple weeks.
Yeah.
Yep.
No, that way Story knows who I'm talking about, and it has absolutely no spoilers other than the fact that the first letter in this person's name is V.
Oh my god, that ruins everything. Can't believe it.
I'm sorry. Yep. It's like that's the whole point of the game. Okay, I guess final topic on this. What do we think of the environments? Like the forest level.
I'm obsessed with this game. I think it is gorgeous. So like that was like my first, 30 minutes hour playing. I like the first time you get to the forest area and you just walk out and you see the whole background with the mountains and the sky and everything. I was like, this game's freaking gorgeous. I was taking screenshots everywhere, admiring everything. I love it. I've only been to 2 areas, so obviously the forest area and the Volt Forge area, but both of them to me just look amazing. So I was very blown away by how good the game looked. I was like, wow, this is such a pretty game.
This is a good question. What setting are you guys playing on? Quality or performance?
I think unless you have like
quality.
120.
Oh, sorry.
Unless you have like 120
120
hertz TV, I think you can only play it on performance. Because I tried to switch over to quality and they wouldn't let me.
Well, I picked quality, so I'm on the quality mode. I don't really care about performance. I don't think you need performance in a Metroid Prime game, in my opinion. I'm like,
no, honestly, 4K 60 frames a second for quality, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
We have a really nice, freaking huge, like 70, 80-inch OLED TV in the basement. It's a really nice one. So that one we did quality mode. I'm actually curious how different it looks, but it looks really beautiful.
Well, because I was playing on performance, and even on 1080, the visuals still look really top notch. But yeah, I love the forest, and then the Volt Forge was still really good too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the lightning and kind of like the misty clouds, but then like just the whole factory, alien-like factory too. Like it's got all those ridges going on, and it's really cool. And of course, the Kronos Tower with the pearlescent essence walls and the aura.
I did overhear that one of the original developers, one of the developers on this, I think maybe he's the game director, worked on Halo 4 and 5.
Because I can see that.
Oh,
I can see a little bit of that art direction in a lot of the Lamora stuff. Like with what the Forerunner technology was like in those 2 games. And I was like, oh, that makes sense, because I kind of got that vibe in the beginning. And then when I read about it like a couple days ago, I was like, pieces are fitting together.
Yeah. No, it's probably one of the prettiest games the Switch 2 has right now. Like, I'm just kind of floored that we have this just coming right off the heels of Pokemon again.
Kyle Heffley, he's a character artist from 343 Industries. And yeah, he was brought on to work with Retro Studios.
That makes a lot of sense now, because I did see people saying how a lot of the art direction looked very Halo-esque.
Yep. No, there you go. They brought in an expert.
How it looks on the Switch one. I'm going to be honest, I didn't even know there was a Switch 1 version. For some reason, I thought it was a Switch 2 exclusive. So when I loaded up the game and it's like Switch 2 edition.
God, I hate that so much.
It's so dumb.
You don't need that.
I hate that so much. I'm playing a Switch 2 game on a Switch 2. I don't need a reminder.
It's so you can flex. You could be like, yeah, this is the Switch 2 edition. That's what I'm playing.
I saw that for premium.
But it made me glad I got a Switch 2, because I feel like, in my opinion, it would not look nearly as good on a Switch 1. I don't know what it looks like on Switch 1. Maybe it still is pretty, but I just feel like the Switch 1 was so limited. I just feel like the Switch 2 has to be way better looking. But I could be wrong. Maybe
I feel like there's got to be a comparison video out there somewhere.
I feel like there
probably
is. Well, I think overall it's a good start for the Metroid. Hopefully we get to see a little bit more revival, and I look forward to hearing what you guys have to say about it when you get a little further into the game. I will say personally, while this is my favorite Metroid Prime was Metroid Prime 2. And I would say this one probably goes up pretty close to Metroid Prime 2. However, I need to replay Metroid Prime 2 again, because I don't remember quite everything that happened in Metroid Prime 2.
Ooh, there's a big difference. There's a big difference between the two.
Okay, well then I'm really glad.
All right, I'm happy with my purchase.
And quality mode.
Anyway,
worth it just for that.
I feel like Metroid Prime 1 is my favorite out of the series.
Yeah, I think 2 or 1 is my favorite. Anyway, to back up what Pat, when you're saying about how Prime 4 seems like its own entry, there was talk that Prime 4 is supposedly like a new trilogy in the series.
Yeah. Yep. Well, I hope
would
they
make
continue
sense.
it.
Okay. Taylor, if you just wanted to jump in and talk about your final impressions.
Okay, are we recording now?
Go. Yep.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. So I just wanted to share my first impressions, but I would say so far I am loving it, and I know I posted a tweet on Twitter about it, but like the first 10 or 15 minutes was like a nostalgia bomb because it's been so long, and I felt like I almost teared up. I was like playing with my sister next to me, and I was like, oh, I can't get emotional next to her, but it was just like it's been so long since we played a Prime game. And it was just like hearing like the space pirate music, and you hear the same, like when you pick up items or when your map updates, like it was like same jingles, same tunes, going right back into like scanning everything. I was like, we are back in a Prime game, and it made me so happy. Yeah, I was laughing because I'm like I said, I'm the type of person who scans freaking everything. I scan all the rubble we walk by. I'm just like scan. But it made me laugh because at the beginning of the game, there's a part where people are being attacked by space pirates, and I'm just like sitting there scanning everything like that, and they're dying next to me. I'm like, sorry, this is more important. But no, I was having
Just
so
keep
much
scanning.
fun. Yeah. Yeah, it just made me laugh because I scanned the dead Federation trooper, and that doesn't count as a logbook. And then later on, there was an alive one, and I scanned the alive one, and that counted as a logbook. And I was like, oh, I guess he has to be alive to be important. But no, it was super, super, super fun. It was like you dive right back into it, having a blast. Like I said, it's very, very beautiful. I'm obsessed. Like I said, every time I go to a new area, I look around at the background and everything. The music's good so far. Like Metroid Prime just has that, I don't know, like sci-fi, I guess. I don't know. It's like there's like little like doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo, like weird noises, and I'm like, oh, this is Prime. This is the music.
Yep.
But yeah, it's been really, really fun so far. So I'm like looking forward to continuing to play it and stuff.
Yeah, when Tara and I were talking about it after our first night of playing, I was cracking the joke too, like scanning everything. Oh, if it's green, I'm scanning it. And then during the intro segment, I'm trying to scan stuff while being attacked by the space pirate. So I'm like, stop! I'm trying to scan stuff here. Leave me alone. I'll get to you later.
Hey, I feel that when I'm scanning enemies, and I'm like, damn it, almost there.
Or the ones that like fly, and then you have to like try and scan them before they fly off the screen.
Yeah, that happened to like these bird enemies. I was like, no, because they flew away, and I was like, man, get them later.
Taylor, did you get the driver's license, or have you not played since?
I did get the driver's license, yeah.
Okay, so when you fought that teleporting enemy, when he kept summoning like the enemies, dude, that guy was so annoying too. I was trying to scan him, and I'm like, stop attacking me. I'm trying to scan you here. Stop moving.
No, I will say my issue with the scans, unfortunately, is that there are missable scans, which I missed a missable scan on the second boss. So while I have beat the game, I couldn't 100% the game, and I'm sitting at a scan log of 98%. So, yeah.
Oh,
scan
what
everything.
are your guys' thoughts? Oh, sorry.
No, scan everything. That's my advice. And just keep the scanner on when you're not shooting.
Yeah, like I said, I just walk around with it on. Even if it's not important, and like half the stuff's not important. What are your guys' thoughts on needing an amiibo for music in the desert?
It's pretty lame. I mean, at the very least, it's like any game's DLC. That's a weird one to put behind a paid DLC, but at least you get a cool little figure for it, I guess. I mean, I think it's a really dumb thing me personally, I think it's a hugely dumb thing to lock behind what's effectively a paywall. You know,
it can actually be unlocked if you 100% the game.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah,
but
yeah, well, especially because amiibos are not cheap. Because even the one I got, I'll show it on the camera for people who want to see. Even this gorgeous amiibo that's like a work of art it was still like $30, and I think $30 was the cheapest one. So it's like you're paying $30 for music in a desert essentially. And like I just got this because it's amazing, so it's really pretty. So for me, it's like a cool figure to have. But yeah, I kind of wish I had waited because I scanned it like right away. But now I'm just like, I wish I hadn't, because it would have been cool to experience the desert with no music first, then be like, this is how other people feel, and then tap it and be like, oh, okay, now I got music. But so now I won't know what it feels like with no music, but it is very odd.
It's motorcycle sounds. It's a lot of motorcycle sounds, like electric.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just ambience.
Yeah. And shooting and crystals breaking.
God, those crystals breaking. Oh, sounds so good.
All right. Well, Taylor, you have been playing some Genshin Impact lately, right?
Yes, I have. I probably will not talk about this too much, but they did come out with a new update last week, which was really exciting. But the main thing I just wanted to talk about, because I thought it was super cool, is for the first time ever in the 5 years of Genshin, they actually went back and revamped older characters from the very beginning. Because in a typical game, obviously it's been out for like 5 years, a lot of the older characters that came out within the first 2 years are just not good anymore. Like, you know, it's like as the game went on, all the newer characters now are like super OP and broken, and no one wants to use the older people. Like they all kind of suck. So I know like they interviewed the developer, I think it was earlier this year or last year, and they were like, oh yeah, we have no intentions of going back and updating older characters. Like it is what it is. And so I think everyone thought that. But I guess they changed their mind. So this update, pretty much a lot of the characters that came out in like the 1.0 versions like 5 years ago, they just revamped them. Like they like updated their constellations, updated kits.
Interesting.
Yeah, they gave Venti. Venti's the Animo Archon, the god guy. They gave him a new weapon. And the coolest thing about, I've been obsessed with playing Venti now. He used to just be utility. So his only thing was he would shoot like a vortex to gather enemies. He did horrible damage. So he was just a mobber, essentially. But they completely revamped this kit, and now he's main DPS. Like now he just like he kicks butt. Like been using him in battle, and I'm like, well, it's so appropriate that the Animal Archon's a main DPS now. But it's just like crazy that after 5 years, they finally updated him, whole new kit, new weapon, and everything, new constellations, and he's been amazing. So I thought that was super cool. So I've been having a lot of fun with this update. I'm just like, I get to use old characters again, and now they're not horrible. Like they're cool, but it gives me hope that they're going to continue updating other older characters, because they have a lot to update. Because a lot of the older characters are just not good anymore.
So if someone were to start the game now, would they have that new updated Venti when they eventually get him?
Yep.
Or, okay, cool.
Yeah. Very cool change.
Update that way.
Yeah.
So that with this new update, they also updated the story a little bit. How's that going right now?
I haven't played the updated Archon quest yet, but the area we're in right now, Nodcry, is like lore central. It is insane. It was like every single Archon quest here is just lore heavy. It's just like bam, 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 revealing all this stuff and craziness going on. So I'm very excited to play those when I get a chance.
Has it, I guess, based on, I'm assuming you had different like thoughts and like theories about where like the story was going. Has your theories panned out, or have they been a little different than what you thought?
A long-running theory about Child, my favorite character. That's been like a theory for like a year or two now. It's getting more and more proven to be true. Like now it's heavily leaning towards this one theory, which is very exciting. So I don't think it's like, I think it finally gets confirmed in the newest Archon quest, kinda in a roundabout way. But that's very exciting because he's my favorite character, and I was like, oh, this has been like a really long time standing theory. But in terms of the main story, like we still don't know the main reason for the story, because the overall story is the Saritsas gathering the 7 Gnosis. We still don't know why. I have my theories on that, but it still hasn't been confirmed, and I don't think it's going to be confirmed until next year when we go to the next nation, which will be Snezhnaya. So we have to wait a very long time for that.
Only a year, you said.
I know. When you've already been playing 5 years, what's another year?
What's another year?
Yeah. No, that's cool. I mean, it's crazy that, like, how many hours have you said you put into this now? It's over 3,000, right?
Yeah, I think on PS5 it's like 3,400 hours. But I've been playing like 4.5 years, so it's kind of spread out.
No, I think it's really says something about a game that it can hold your attention for 4.5 years, and like that's a master like storytelling, lore building, world building, and just able to keep you attentive to what's going on. So like I really appreciate it. I can see why Genshin is like in the top 5 for game or player's choice in the Game Awards again.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think we talked about that. You said it was missing from like best ongoing game. Yeah, which is kind of weird.
Yeah,
but no, I think it's because like the first couple years it was like there 2 or 3 years in a row, and I bet you they were just like, you can't put Genshin in every single year. Like you have to put other games.
I mean,
and then the players are like, "To hell, we can."
Yeah, right.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't be surprised if it actually did win again, player's choice, because I think it did win last year's player's choice, if I remember.
I don't know if it won last year. I think it won the year before, but I don't think it won. I could be wrong. But it's up against other games, but I guess it depends how people look at it. Because some of the other games in that category, because I even think like Clair Obscur is in the top 5, Silk Song was in the top 5, and another one, and I'm like, those are already in other categories for rewards. So I guess it depends if people want to vote for them again or vote for something else. So be curious if it wins.
Oh, we'll find out soon. All right. Josh?
We all know how it's going to end up.
Give me my primo gems.
Yeah.
Wait, do you actually get an award if they win?
Yeah, they give everyone primos for wishing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I think last year they still gave them out even when you guys lost.
Yeah, as I said, last year I think we lost, and they still just thanked everyone for being nominated in the top 5 and still gave it to us. So it was still nice. I was like, thank you.
That's cool.
That is actually really cool. I mean, cheating, but cool. Little bribe here, sweeten the pot. Josh, what else have you been playing other than Metroid?
So I recently finished 100%ing Silk Song. That was fun.
Ooh. How long did that take you?
60 hours.
60? Okay.
Yeah. So, initially, it was kind of a weird thing because when I beat Act 2, Xillia Remastered came out. So I put the game on the back burner to play Xillia. But then Xillia Remaster has some issues, so I was like, okay, I'm going to go back to Silk Song. And then I found out Act 3 is actually not that long compared to Act 1 and 2. So I ended up finishing the whole game. But it was a really enjoyable experience. It wasn't as bad as I thought it'd be, because I remember a lot of people saying that Act 3 was this massive difficulty spike.
I've heard that, yeah.
And for me personally, it wasn't that bad. But it might be because I'm an avid tool user. And I know Taylor doesn't really use tools.
Yeah, I'm anti-tool. I'm all melee.
It is pretty interesting. Yeah, it is pretty interesting because, like, I think because I use a lot of tools. Taylor doesn't really use them. Our sister Amanda uses the tools a lot. A couple of my online friends recently played through Silk Song, and they were also split. One didn't use tools, the other did use tools. So it's pretty interesting to see like everyone else's like different playstyle and things.
Yeah. I'm like in the middle. I usually don't use tools, but I have been getting more and more into using the tools now that I have like poison tax and the cog bugs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because they've actually helped me out a lot in pinches.
They do help. I guess for me personally, I find it cheap.
I find it cheap too, yeah.
Yeah, this makes things overly easy, and I find it more rewarding when you're just dodging and smacking, and like I feel awesome when I beat a boss just from melee only, and I was like, I didn't need any assistance. I just
it is pretty funny because I use tools a lot in Act 1 and Act 2, and I told Taylor during Act 3 I started not using tools because it seemed to me like several Act 3 bosses seemed to get faster or attack more frequently when you kept putting on damage, and I would often die a lot. So I was like, "Hey, forget this. I'm not gonna use tools. I'm just gonna attack with needle." And the boss ended up being super easy. So I don't know if it was like some weird coincidence or like it was just in my mind the whole time. But yeah, Act 3, I kind of stopped using tools for the most part.
Maybe the tools were just doing like so much damage. They were just activating, like maybe it was hitting thresholds for them, and they're like, "Oh, I'm going to attack." Or do this attack or something.
Yeah, because I told Sarah I was fighting this one boss where when I got to the 2-second phase, I started throwing all my tools at it, and it started doing like 2 or 3 attacks all at once. So I would just take a million damage and then die. But then when I stopped using the tools, it just acted like a normal boss. So, yeah, so aside from finishing Silksong, I've been playing Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment with Amanda, where I think we're like halfway through the game right now. Everyone's converged. So, because the beginning of the game, you play as Zelda and Rauru and Minoru, and then later on in the story, you meet this Korok named Calamo, and he awakens this construct that plays like Link, but it's not Link. And they were doing their own thing. And we finally reached a point to where now everyone's met up together. So now you can play anyone with anyone.
Now, why would you use anyone when you had Calamo, the most OP Korok in the entire world?
I can fight too. Amanda played Calamo. It was always funny because the construct has pretty much has Link's playstyle from like Age of Calamity and whatnot. So we always called him not Link. So it's like, oh, time to play as not Link. Totally not Link. And she would always play as Calamo. But when we weren't playing as them, I would play as Zelda and she would play as Rauru. But now that everyone's converged, she always plays Rauru while I always try to play not Link. And our Rauru is so over-leveled compared to the whole cast. Like everyone, like, because in the game, you meet these like random no-name NPCs that join your party or become playable. And they're like level 15, level 20, level 25. And then you have not Link and Calamo being like upper 30s. And you have Zelda being 40. And then we have Rauru, who's almost 60. So every time Raru's playable, I'm like, thanks for the carry, Amanda.
Yeah, I noticed that too, where like your favorite character ends to be like 20 levels higher than everyone else.
Yeah,
just for reasons.
Yeah, we're a bit more.
I haven't played this game. Is leveling up like pretty important? Do you have to level up?
No. For at least for this Hyrule Warriors game, level doesn't seem to be as important. It helps, yeah, but it's not like, oh, if you're under level, you're doomed.
I mean, as long as you're playing the game as it's intended, you're going to be at the right level. Okay.
Yeah, because we're playing on a very hard difficulty, and even with being under leveled, we're still like bulldozing through everything for the most part.
Okay.
It just makes certain enemies take longer to kill. compared to if you were of leveled, but there hasn't really been any actual challenge yet.
You can level up your character so pretty easily in this game, either by putting them in your party, or I believe there's a training center that you can pay to level them up.
Yeah,
so.
We might have to utilize that for the first time, because when we stopped, we saw a mission where you have to only use the random NPCs as your playable class. No. And they're all under level. They're like 20, 15, like 25, and the recommended level for the area is 35. And we're like, okay, this is gonna be a struggle and a half.
Nah, you can do it. It's just going to take you a couple hours. That's all.
yeah. Which we're very much used to taking hours to complete some stuff. We'll get to that later in the Tales segment. But yeah, so far the game's been really enjoyable. It's very typical warrior / Muso playstyle. And I love the Muso games.
They are fun.
Yeah, especially in this universe. I mean, and especially with the war in the Tears of the Kingdom universe.
Yeah, so speaking of that, so I never played Breath of the Wild or Tears. Amanda has played. Yeah, so Amanda has played through both. So whenever a cutscene is happening, Amanda's trying to explain to me like what happened during the war, or what like memory happened during Tears. So I can try and make sense of everything. So it's pretty fascinating to like trying to understand the story as we go along.
That would be a very interesting perspective, to not know what happened beforehand. So, but I feel like half of that story gets told, that Tears shows, happens like right in the beginning of that, and then a lot of the war stuff that happens in the middle is like completely new territory, and you don't really know exactly how that progressed. So I like how they did add some new things to the story, just to keep it fresh.
Yeah, I am glad that it's actually fully canon this time, and they didn't like swindle us like Age of Calamity did.
You didn't like it how they saved everyone, and
it was just this could happen.
Yeah, it was a what if.
So basically what happened with Age of Calamity was, before it came out, they were claiming it was going to be a canon story to before Breath of the Wild happened. And then shortly after the beginning of the game, it immediately time splits or becomes non-canon, and people weren't exactly happy about it.
No,
because like you go on about saying like, oh, it's canon to the story, and it turns out it actually isn't, or it is, but it's its own thing. So for this,
I don't see why it couldn't be canon. Like, they could literally have the whole Breath of the Wild happen, and then had the robot go back into the past and fix it.
Well, that's the whole thing.
It still would have happened.
Yeah. Because for some reason, people seem really against timeline splits for like the Breath of the Wild timeline for whatever reason now. Because like the old timeline had the triple split. So Age of Calamity technically has a timeline split, and people are like, oh, this can't be canon because of this timeline split. And it's like, well, would that imply that the old timeline wasn't canon either because it had a triple split? So I don't know why people are so against it this time around.
I don't know. People are weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I am glad that the Age of Imprisonment is full on canon to actually explain the war that happened a billion years ago.
Well, anything else to add to that, Josh?
No, that's kind of it. Just a fun, enjoyable game.
I agree. I think it's probably the best of the Hyrule Warriors so far.
I don't know. I kind of have a soft spot for Definitive Edition. Definitive Edition is like my all-time favorite, just because it has so much content.
That is true. They released all those maps on it that just
that were
I can see
3DS
that.
exclusive. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Stoy, what have you been playing?
I don't know if I ever talked about Vampire Masquerade 2.
I might have heard. I don't know if you told me about it, but I don't. I think I've
I don't
heard
think
it,
I have.
but I don't think you said here.
Yeah. This is a pretty mixed game, and I will admit, I played a little bit of Bloodlines like 20 years ago. I don't know much of the story, but I hear the Masquerade 2 Bloodlines kind of is a little bit different with its lore that is conflicting with the first Bloodlines. But I'm going to say that a good portion of people are probably picking this game up who have no idea what the lore is on there's a vampire series, so to speak. So, for me, I'm enjoying it. It's not a it's not like a challenging game. There's a lot of dialogue. There's a lot of story. There's a lot of lore in this game, and I think that's what kind of interests me a lot because there's a lot of vampire lore in this, and every vampire group has their own like caste system and their own like legion with different like kind of like vampire abilities, and then there's like kind of like thin bloods where it's like they're kind of vampires, but they're not like full vampires. So they've been converted, but their blood isn't compatible to receive a full transformation, so to speak. And then there's like blood bags, people that are just humans that are just blood bags for vampires. Yeah. So and there's like some characters that actually like get off on that. And they're like obsessed with it. It's like a drug, basically. It's like they want vampires to feed on them because they love the feel of it. It's just very, very interesting lore surrounding it. And then there's your character like wakes up after like I want to say almost like a 200-year sleep or something like that. You get woken up suddenly and you have this other person in your head. And he's talking to you, and he's kind of weird because he talks to you like he's like some 1920s detective, where he's like, see, we're gonna solve this crime here, and these vampires are just killing everybody. See, and I'm not kidding you. That's how he talks. Like it's just. But then you come to realize he actually was a detective from the early 1900s. So it's like, okay, I guess this makes sense. But he's also a vampire, and there's obviously a story spoiler I'll save as to why he is in your head, so to speak. But like your character was some like big vampire in the past, and then all of a sudden now you're awake and everyone's like, who are you again? And why are you this all-powerful vampire that's out here now killing everybody, so to speak? So one thing leads to another, and now you got to solve this like larger vampire conspiracy of like some shit's happening. I love the dialogue. Honestly, the voice actors are doing top-notch delivery here. It's very interesting listening to them and seeing the different personalities come out of all the characters. My favorite is a vampire who owns a pawn shop. And he gives me hits, basically, where like I'll come into the pawn shop and I'll be like, "Hey, you got work for me?" And he's like, "Yes, these men, he likes to cheat on his wife. Go take care of him for me." And I'm like, "You got it."
Man's dead now.
Yeah, exactly. This guy's dead. So, but the thing about what the masquerade means is that the vampires aren't like out in the open. They're still hiding amongst people. So they call it the masquerade. Like we have to try to keep up appearances. We can be out in public, but we can't have people know we're vampires. So we can't do anything in public to loosen the secret, so to speak, or to like expose our vampire society, so to speak. So there's, if you go out on the street just killing people with your vampire powers, your masquerade meter goes up, and then all of a sudden, if it gets so high to a point, like someone just comes in and just kills you right away. And it's kind of daunting. Like, all of a sudden you're running around, and all of a sudden, like someone actually puts their hand over your mouth, and then you look down and someone's putting a stake in your heart, and game over. That's it. It's kind of interesting.
So you're saying you ran around and you killed a whole bunch of people, and someone staked you?
Listen, I thought I want to say this happened this happened twice, where it's like, there's a bunch of things
mistakenly.
A bunch of these like thin bloods are like,
it's the thin blood's fault now. Are we discriminating?
Yes, we are. Oh my god! The vampire racism in this game is pretty harsh. But racism can no matter how small your group is, it's still gonna be there. So, but like, I think there was like a scene where it was like a bunch of these thin bloods in the alley. So I'm like, I gotta go take care of this. But of course, while I was fighting them, I didn't realize my masquerade meter was going up because people were watching me like use my vampire powers. And then it's like, oh shit, I noticed it too late. And all of a sudden, stake, game over. Like, oh. So, but honestly, the whole lore surrounding it is like so intriguing, and then just like talking and meeting characters, and even just like solving the overall conspiracy has really kind of got me hooked a bit. It's not a fun game to play, really. The combat is kind of, it's hit or miss for me. It can be frustrating, especially when you get swarmed by all these different enemies, and you get swarmed a lot. But I think the overall conspiracy that's happening, and it's like a detective story too. So like you're finding out like what's happening. I'm enjoying it.
That's good, as long as the story holds up. I've heard mixed reviews on this. And you said you've only played one vampire game before, right?
I played the first one of this, Bloodlines 1, and that was like 20 years ago. Obviously that game was a product of its time. And I think the Vampire series has this overall lore that I think, this game was in this Bloodlines 2 was in like development hell for years. And I want to say the Chinese room just picked them up over the last couple years. So you could see a little bit of their influence in maybe the storytelling and the acting and the delivery. However, the combat, it's definitely not their forte. I'll say that outright.
Would you say, though, if someone wanted to jump into this, could they start off with 2 without either knowing anything about the Vampire Bloodline series, or like they wouldn't get too lost in it?
No, honestly, it's a self-contained story. There's mentions of certain things that maybe happened in the past or whatever. That you just go through the codexes, and the codex entries do a really good job of like identifying all the different vampire class. Like you got the Bruja, they're just kind of like the biker gang, so to speak. You got the Ventru de la Sombra or whatever. I think that's the other one. But it's like there's so many different types of so many different classes that it's hard to keep up. So occasionally I actually do go back into the codex when like someone mentions something and I'm like, what was that about? And then I'll go search it. So,
okay.
But if you don't know anything about the lore, anything about the universe, this is a pretty self-contained story, and I think you'll have some fun with it.
Cool.
Otherwise, I played a half hour of Valhalla Cyberpunk bartender action like before recording. First time I've ever done it, actually. Coming from a big guy, a guy that loves coffee talk.
I've heard it's very similar.
Yeah, very similar. Except you're just serving up drinks instead of coffee. It's good so far. I like it.
Yeah, no, it's I've heard good things about it. So
yeah,
we look forward to hearing you report on that later.
It's very it's vulgar. Let's just say that.
Oh gosh.
Very vulgar. The customers that come into your bar. I've encountered like 2 so far, and I'm like, God damn.
Calm down.
Yeah, I was like, take it easy. Yeah.
Get out.
Can you give attitude? Like, can you like kick them out or retaliate or say something back? Or
your character like automatically talks. I don't. It's not like one of those like you.
Okay.
You. It's like a choose what you say. Which I sometimes I wish it was like that, but yeah, I want to say like this one. The second guy, this asshole comes in and he's like, he's like saying this place is a shithole. This place looks like a crack house. This and that, whatever. And it's like, hey, I'm just here to serve you drinks. Like, why you got to be this way? And then he goes and asks you like, hey, have you ever faked an orgasm before? And your character is a female. And she's like, what? And she's like, I'm not answering that question. And he's like, it's okay. I've already got my answer by the way you responded. And it's like, who are you?
Interesting.
Excuse you?
Yeah, exactly. I forget what else, but like, I think, yeah, like the more you serve them drinks, actually, the more kind of loose they get, which is kind of interesting. So
it's like real life.
Now,
The more
really
you drink, it's like no filter.
Yeah,
you start opening up more and whatnot.
Yeah, actually, because I think his next question follows up after you serve him his second drink, and he's like, hey, have you ever felt like you're missing something in your life? Like there's a big hole in your life? It's like, where does this come from?
There must be strong drinks. It's like
Well, you have the ability to do that. Like apparently when you mix the drinks, there's like an alcoholic portion that is like flavorless, but adds alcohol to it. So like if apparently when you're interacting with your characters, if you want to like add more alcohol to their drink, you can. They won't notice it until all of a sudden they start getting a little tipsy.
I wonder if you can make someone so drunk they like pass out.
Yeah, I wonder that. I wonder that too. I don't know.
Do
I don't know how far that goes.
Do it and find out.
Yeah.
I'll report back. We'll report back.
Yep. Okay.
Anyway, that's really what I've been playing.
That's cool. No, I'm interested to hear more about Valhalla because I have heard some, at least I haven't heard anything much about it, but I know people have liked it. So, all right. Well, I guess it's down to me, and I picked up Octopath Traveler 0 along with Metroid Prime 4 when it came out. I also played the demo to Octopath 0, so I had 3 hours prior to when this one came out. So
that's such a nice feature to have.
It was. Oh my gosh. Like in that demo gave you just enough to like really hook you into it and need to like buy the game to continue it.
Does the demo carry over to the full game?
Yep.
I love that games are doing that now. They allow you to play the demo and carry your progress over to the full game.
Yeah.
The demo is literally you play for 3 hours, and once it gets to 3 hours, it cuts you and says save here. And if you want to continue on, buy the game.
That's
so, it was a very interesting cutoff. Like I was looking at the time, and finally, like once it hit 3 hours, it's like, thank you for playing, it says save here, of course. Like it will save wherever you were. So if you were like in the middle of the field, you'll still be there when you reload your trial data.
I'm curious what happens if the timer hits while you're mid-battle.
Good question. I wonder if they would let you finish that battle first.
Yeah.
I feel like they would have to let you finish the battle.
I feel like they would.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then cut it off before any dialogue happens. But this game is very different from... I mean, it's similar to Octopath Traveler 1 and 2, but it's also very different from Octopath Traveler 1 and 2. This was originally a mobile game called Champions of the Continent, and this came out roughly the same time as 2. And I guess they decided to just convert it into a console version. So they got rid of the stuff that made it mobile and added more story, voice acting, and more characters into this world, and molded it into what is now Octopath Traveler 0. So, for example, my understanding is how this game begins with your character in a town called Wishville, getting ready for a festival. That does not happen in Octopath Traveler Champions of the Continent. The whole sit village part is completely new. And because of events that happen in the game, your village does get destroyed, which happens insanely early, so it's not really spoiler territory because it's also introduced in the commercials. Because one of the things they promoted is that this is a city builder as well. So you get to build your village back up again. And also recruit villagers to live in your village. So there's that aspect and storyline that was added to this. But they also, instead of being traveler focused like the other two, it is villain focused this time. The stories are centered right now around 3 villains who orchestrated the attack on your city. So these 3 villains are like, they are just they're just irredeemable right now. Like, they are evil as hell. Each one kind of focused on one of 3 aspects. They are either masters of wealth, master of power, or master of fame, and they use those to manipulate, cause fear, and just treat other people like garbage. In fact, it's very common when you see these villains on the screen. They're usually going to kill someone when they're on screen as well. So, like, they just have no remorse, or at least it doesn't seem so far at this point that they have no remorse. So your character is custom created, and you kind of go on this journey to get revenge on the 3 people who has destroyed your city. And the stories that are being told are they're very dark. Like, this game is a very mature title in terms of what themes it hits. For example, the Master of Fame, he is not below basically manipulating women to sleep with him and then goes and kills them after, because he is a sadistic asshole who seeks the thrill for his next inspiration. Like, he is a serial killer in a playwright's clothing, basically, and he can get away with it because he's famous. No one's gonna like that. That's these characters almost above the law, and no one's challenging them because of their status. So it's a very intriguing story in that regard.
Kind of reminds me of Octopath 1's Primrose story. It was kind of similar because she was a dancer, and the big bad was like turning them all into prostitutes.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like,
I do remember that.
Yeah, that was also pretty dark.
No,
but it looks so campy.
No,
weird.
It's strangely beautiful. Like, it's heavily pixelated in that 2D HD style, but just the like environment effects, such as the trees swaying in the wind, or like the lighting that goes on, whether from your lantern or from just like other environmental things happening, like it is gorgeous. And the music is, I can literally just leave. Like, I sometimes just kind of leave the screen wherever it is, and the music's just playing, and I'm like maybe scrolling through Twitter, while this is playing, just because I'm really enjoying the soundtrack that's happening in the background. A lot of the songs are very peaceful when it's cities or nature. but then the battle songs are like just emotion, like provoking, like just epic showdown kind of like music that happens during those parts.
I did that a lot with Octopath 1. I would just listen to the background music while doing stuff.
No, Octopath has some amazing music, and I love the fact that they're going to be playing Octopath Traveler music at the Square concert that they just announced recently. So I'm looking forward to hearing some of that as well.
Cool.
Yeah. So
is this Oh, sorry, because I disappeared for a little bit. I don't know much about the Octopath games. Is this like, do you have to play the first one to play this one? Are they tied together like prequel, sequel, or are they separate things?
This technically is a prequel, and it will have characters from the first one. But what this really does is it establishes the main story to the first one, like, or the background story, from what I understand.
Okay. So if I haven't played the first one, I could play this one and kind of get some backstory.
Yeah, you wouldn't know exactly what backstory you probably are getting into, but you know, it's you could play this one without needing to know anything from the first two.
Okay.
Yeah.
How customizable is the town building in Octo Zero?
I would say it's pretty customizable. Like, obviously, you start off with a few buildings. And like you start off with small patches of land, but as you build your town, you can then like pick those buildings up and put them in other places if you wanted to. Then you can like place different characters based on skills. Maybe give them houses, and they'll increase productivity, such as getting lumber or stone. Or you can put them on a ranch, and they will actually like increase growth production in your farms. And then apparently there's other buildings that are going to be added to it as the story progresses. So, and of course there's a whole bunch of customizable cobblestones, trees, accessories that you can like literally just fashion your village like an Animal Crossing town.
This kind of reminds me of I don't know if you guys have heard it, but like those Wii games, what was it, Final Fantasy, My Life as a King and My Life as a Villain.
Yep.
Very similar thing where you build your own town, customize it, and then you recruit people, do stuff. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. It was something they specifically added for the Zero edition to, convert that story from mobile to console. So, yeah. Overall, like it's a great game. I'm still really early into it, and I hear this game is absolutely massive. Most people are saying they finished it at about anywhere between 80 to 100 hours.
Games are too long.
Way.
Games are way too long.
I've heard the same thing. Like, I guess apparently if you rush it, it's like 40, 50. But if you want to do everything, it's easily 80 plus.
See, that stuff deters me. Like,
yeah.
I don't have too much time to game nowadays. So something that long, like I was actually thinking about getting it, and now that you've mentioned that, I don't want it anymore. That's like, I feel like I would have to be stuck on that game for like 3 months straight. I mean, that's a lot for me. I was like, oh.
Yeah, no, it's definitely daunting. That's for sure, and that's why I did want to tell you what the length was. Because I know you and Stoy both are conscientious of what your time is, and you'd like to split it among more projects than necessarily multiple really long projects.
Yeah, my backlog stack just gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger.
Yeah. I always say you can't brag about having a backlog if you don't have a backlog.
Oh yeah. For some people, it's a flex.
Oh yeah, no, I'm proud of my backlog.
Didn't Orbology have a YouTube short or something like that about that?
She just recently had something about that.
Yeah, where she was like, "You should be proud of your backlog. That just means you have like a future full of good games to play." And I'm like, "That's a good way to think about it."
That's a good way to think about it.
Yeah.
That's me with that's me with the Trails series. I'm so far behind on that series. I'm like, well, at least I know I have like 7, 8 games to look forward to when I eventually get there.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're only up to game 13 right now, so like.
Yeah, and then I think 14 comes out in January.
Yeah, they got a lot. Finally, I also picked up a indie game called Detective Instincts: Farewell, My Beloved. This is a mix between the Famicom Detective series that Nintendo released and Phoenix Wright. It's got the style of the Famicom Detective series. You are a college student, an English major that somehow gets embroiled in this mystery where a girl on the train that you are just disappears, and your college friend, is like, who got involved with this girl and like had conversations with her. It's like, I'm not crazy. There really was a girl here that's now gone. And so you're trying to figure out what happened to this mystery girl who just randomly disappeared while you guys are on a moving train for 3 days, I think. So basically it is a text-driven adventure where you like talk to people, you gather clues, you gather evidence, you give them questions, and then you can kind of like poke around the rooms and like point at something and be like, check this out, and maybe you'll find another like piece of evidence that you can then use for further questioning. And then like when the days end, you kind of get like this little quiz of like what happened during these events. Can you remember who was this person that we talked to? What was their profession?
So they're testing your memory?
Yeah, they're testing your memory, but you also have like a notepad in the game that, your character writes notes about like the things that he saw.
If you get it wrong, does it automatically, like, if you get it wrong, does it keep making you choose so you get it right?
Either that or, I don't know. I always got it right, but...
Smarty pants.
I am curious if it follows like the Ace Attorney, where if you fail enough times, you just game over.
It's like, you suck as a detective for taking you off this case.
I don't think it's going to follow that way. I think it's going to follow more of the Famicom series, where at the very end you're kind of graded based on whether you got choices right or wrong. Because the way they did those, if you made a wrong choice, the person's like, you know what, I don't think that's quite how that went. And then, like, at the end, they kind of give you a grade, like, well, you did good here, you sucked here. For some reason, you looked at a girl here, so that made your character pervy, so you're now labeled as a perv. Really? That seriously happened in Famicom. Like, there was, like, a female officer, and, of course, I check everything, including the female officer, and the game noted that I checked out the female officer, who, the thing was like she had big boobs too, so the game's like, it's like you checked out this officer, so you kind of pervy, aren't you?
Sounds very like. This sounds like the very opening of like Chrono Trigger. The court case.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Did you steal this person's lunch? I didn't know I was going to be judged for that.
Yep. No, so I think that's kind of how it goes. I'm not too far into it, but I've enjoyed it so far. The characters are very charismatic. They're definitely not boring. At least any of the characters I have met. They have their personalities. They have their animations and their explanations, and it's overall it's been a fun little like adventure. I'm kind of curious to see what exactly is happening with it.
Yep. How long is this one? Did you do a games?
I don't think it's terribly long. It's an indie, so I can't imagine this being more than 12 hours at most. I think it's probably less, to be honest.
I just Googled it and it said 5.5 to 6.5 hours.
Oh, wow.
Damn.
Not bad.
Okay, well.
You're probably almost done then.
God, I hope not. I feel like it just started.
I'm craving a new Phoenix Wright for crying out loud, because I'm trying to get into the Great Ace Attorney series. And I mean, it's a struggle for me. I'm trying to do a second playthrough of it, and I go back every now and then. I don't know. The character is just, I don't know.
I like Hemlock.
There's no Larry Butts. There's no Larry Butts in
the Hemlock Sholmes, though.
Yeah, I know, but he's no Larry Butts. Pat, when something smells, it's always the butts.
Usually the butt.
True. It's usually the butts.
Yeah, that is true. I would like that series to continue. And apparently, Capcom is looking into it, but they say that all the time.
Brother, they say that every year. They're like, hey, we're looking into a new Mega Man game. We're looking into a new Phoenix Wright game. There's a rumor of a Marvel vs. Capcom game coming out next year. It's like, come on.
Yeah, like Devil May Cry as well.
Yeah, we're looking at the Devil May Cry too.
Mm-hmm. That reminds me. Did you hear the Capcom news today?
Yeah, I know.
Your boy?
Yeah.
You're Silver Fox of a boy now?
Yeah, he's a Silver Fox now.
He's in, man.
It's like I'm both excited and I'm like, come on, like there's other Resident Evil universe characters that we could put in this game. Why Leon again?
Maybe he's not like playable, or like maybe he's like they do what they did with Chris in Village.
Yeah, kind of like shows up at the end or something like that. I just like I said, to put him on the cover like that, I'm like, okay, interesting.
Yep. Yeah. In case you guys didn't know, Leon Kennedy has been announced for Resident Evil 9.
I didn't realize they put him on the cover. I heard he was...
It was a little whoopsie. It was a little oopsie daisy, I think, on their part.
PlayStation Network opened up reserves, and it just happened to have a picture of him on it. So
yeah, like, oh, shit.
Okay, that makes sense now, because I was watching a streamer and his chat was like, "Oh, did you guys hear about the RE9 leaks?" And he was like, "Oh no, it wasn't a leak. Someone done goofed big time."
Mm-hmm.
That sucks. That kind of sucks if they wanted it to be a surprise, because now it's not a surprise.
I even thought I heard they said that Leon Kennedy isn't a playable character. I thought I heard Capcom say that.
They could. That might be true. Like, he may not be a playable character. Like I said, it could still be focused on Grace. But who knows? Like, obviously there was a misdirection, because Nick Apostolides had his mistake where he mentioned, his resume got leaked, and it showed like a big Capcom project that wasn't announced yet, and it was like, oh, Leon's back probably, and then they tried to hide it.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. Well, we're not here to talk about Resident Evil this week. We're here to talk about the 35th anniversary of the Tales of series, happening December 15th. 35 years of making 47 total games. 32 of them are console games, 2 PC games, 13 mobile games, none of which actually exist anymore.
Oh.
Because no one likes
many mobile games. Oh my god! I know I played like 2 or 3 of them, but god dang,
13. Yep, and what sucks about the mobile series is once they closed the server, which seemed to happen within a couple years after the game initially dropped, they just don't exist anymore. So that is the worry of the future of gaming.
Yeah, games preservation.
Mm-hmm. But at least Bandai Namco is trying to preserve these Tales games and make them playable for future players and old players alike. But we will talk about that a little bit later in this segment. First off, what Tales games did you guys actually get into? What was your first one? Taylor, let's go with you first.
Mine was Tales of Symphonia. And to this day, it's still my favorite. It's probably nostalgia speaking. But I just think the story in Symphonia is amazing. I feel like it's, for me, other Tales of games, the stories are nowhere near as good. Because are we allowed to spoil stuff in here, or is this just like a
This is a spoiler section. So
okay.
Everyone, if you're listening to this, we are going to be having spoilers for this. So
But I just like I feel like
mm-hmm.
we played Grace's F recently, and apparently this was a controversial opinion. I thought it was one of the most boring games I have ever played in my life. I'm sorry, that story was freaking boring. Oh my god, it was like so tough for me to get through the game. And some people on Twitter were like, "I can't believe you think this game is boring. That's insane." And I'm just like, well, for me, the story. There's nothing exciting about the story. It's like so straightforward. There was not a single plot twist at all. And if there was a plot twist, we called it hours in advance. Like, to me, I was just like, this is boring. I'm sorry. There's nothing exciting about the story.
What about the plot twist of friendship saved the day?
It's like the ending of every Tales game.
Power of friendship.
Literally.
I also am surprised that there's a controversy with the story because it's pretty widely regarded as like the weakest story in the series.
Yeah,
like
but
no one liked it.
A couple of people on Twitter were like, "I can't believe you said that. Like, how could you think that?" And I was like, "Whoa, I don't know. Just my opinion."
I was going to say you're entitled to have one.
Yes. But I just like the story of Symphonia just because I feel like it tackles a lot of interesting stuff because it's like aside from the main story, the journey you're going on, like there's like other stuff it goes into. Like I think the stories of the Crucius crystals and stuff was interesting, especially when you find out what happened to like Lloyd's mom. When you find out Kratos is his dad, that was freaking plot twist. I did not expect that at all.
What about Mabel? What happened to Mabel? That was where you found the Crucius crystal. She was the old lady at the camp.
Oh, yeah.
That's right. She invades your hometown, or she gets sent to attack your hometown.
But you find out it's her, and it's like,
Yeah, I just feel like there was like a lot of like little stories in the grand scheme of things, and like they dealt with racism, like when it came with the half elves, like everyone hated the half elves and stuff, and I felt really bad for them because they weren't a full elf or they weren't a full human, so it was just like discrimination and stuff. So I feel like when I play that game, I'm like, oh, there's so many other things and topics being discussed in the grand scheme of things.
I was going to say, wasn't there I played this one, the remastered version, but wasn't there like a area where you had to like practically ethnically cleanse like a cave full of like, was it half elves or something like that in some mining town?
I don't know. It's been a while since I've played.
Maybe I'm like super paraphrasing it, but it was like you went to
usually the one that were trying to ethnically cleanse. The half elves were the ones that were like they were the ones that were invading and like taking the humans and being like, you guys are dirty and we don't like you and we're gonna throw you in concentration camps and eventually turn you into monsters.
I thought that's what happened with one of them. It's like you have to go into this cave where there's like there's all these people in there. We need them all killed. They're all like turning into monsters. Maybe that was the premise of that.
Oh, maybe they were turning into the monsters. From the Crucius crystal.
It just seemed a little dirty to me doing that.
This whole game just had racist tones because, like, even the beginning, like, remember, like your whole party is called inferior beings.
Yeah.
Like, right off the get-go, you're already discriminated upon. Game pulls no punches.
But I love this story. I love this game. Like, we replayed it so many times growing up. There's certain music in the game that just makes me so nostalgic. Like the music in the final area, every time I hear it on YouTube, I'm like, oh, I'm so nostalgic. I want to play this game again. But yeah, that was my first one. And to this day, I think it's still my favorite. So I'm curious if everyone's first Tales ends up being their favorite. Because like with Final Fantasy, a lot of people's first Final Fantasy is always like their favorite one. So I'm curious if it's the same here.
Actually, I will echo this 100% with you. Tales of Vesperia was my first one, and it still to this day is my favorite. I want to say I think I liked the characters and their banter. I liked the dog Rapide. He's one of my favorite dogs, I think, in video games. I mean, he's walking around with like a knife in his mouth. It's pretty cool. But I just liked I think the main character Yuri. I think he's like kind of like the vagabond guy. That's just like, I used to be a knight. My best buddy is still in the knights, and you got this kind of like interesting dynamic between him and Yuri and his buddy that's still in the Imperial Knights. I think that's what they're called.
Yep.
And obviously trying to help this princess.
Estelle.
Yeah, Estelle. That was it. Estelle. Yeah,
Estelle
was it.
for short.
Yeah, and then of course they gotta throw some kid in there just for shits, because it's not a Tales.
Our favorite Carol.
Yeah, I know. It's like you gotta throw in some like 12-year-old girl or some 12-year-old boy in there or something like that just for the shit of it.
And don't forget the old man who was really like only like 30, but he's considered the old guy.
Yeah, he's like the old guy. He's like half gray hair, and it's like, how old are you? 30 years old. Like what?
What?
That's how a lot of like teenagers view 30-year-olds today on social media, though. It's like you're 30. Yeah. Oh, you're ancient. Oh my god.
Yeah. But I honestly,
Raven was awesome.
Yeah, no, he was cool. He was cool as a cucumber kind of guy. He reminded me of the who was the guy from Grandia 3, the one that was trying to bang your mom that whole game.
Yeah, I don't remember much of Grandia 3, unfortunately, out of all the Grandias.
I remember that one. I remember that part. I'm like, this guy's trying to bang my mom this whole game.
Yeah, I do remember.
He's the guy that
they're being awkward.
Yeah. I think he's like a pirate. He owns this ship or something like that. But anyway, so I honestly I thought the graphics that was about as close to like anime looking graphics that I've seen at the time. I know there was Tales games before, but for me, I was like, well, let me try this out. I think I rented it off of GameFly when I was a GameFly subscriber, and like I was like, I'm gonna keep this. Like I'm having fun with this. The combat system was really, man, it was so. It definitely took me out of the whole like. I think I was done with the turn-based thing at this time. I was like, I want an RPG that's not turn-based, but I still wanted to have those JRPG elements, and Tales really scratched that itch for me. And I was mainline Tales games, I think, pretty much for the rest of my future. Well, most of them.
Yeah. Josh, how about you? Which one did you start with?
So technically, Phantasia. Way back during like middle school, high school, one of my friends was like, "Hey, I played this game called Tales of Phantasia, like a translated version on the SNES. On the SNES." He's like, "You should try it out." So I tried it out on like a SNES emulator, and the translation was god awful. It was technically my first dip into the Tales of series, but I didn't know anything about the game at the time, or the series at the time.
Bro's been here since the beginning. Wow.
Because I think the SNES version was
ironic. What's ironic about what Stoy just said is that we didn't get Tales of Phantasia until
the Game Boy,
like
or the PlayStation.
No, it was a Game Boy Advance version, and I believe, according to this list, it was our 5th. No, it was, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It was our 6th Tales game that we received. Yeah, we got that after Legendia.
Oh.
Yeah, so that was technically my first Tales game, but like with Taylor, Symphonia was what really brought me into the series. And I think it was kind of funny because we didn't know about the series until one of my high school friends was like, "Oh, I played this game called Tales of Symphonia. Do you want to borrow it?" And then we play it, and then like it's like, "Yeah, sure, I'll try it out." And then that's when like the whole thing started. That's when we all got into it. And we had his copy for like probably a year plus, and he was like, "Can I have my copy back?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I guess." And then we ended up buying our own. But yeah, Symphonia was like the first game that really got us into the series. But I'm gonna go against the grain here, and I'm gonna say, despite Symphonia being my true first, my favorite is Abyss.
Okay, this is very, very, very good.
Yeah, like Symphonia's story is still like probably the best for me, but when I replayed the PS3 version, the combat did not age well at all for me.
Yeah. That's like the one thing I tell everyone. It's like, I think it's hard because we played Symphonia when it came out, like all those years ago. And like, and every single time I tell people how much I love Symphonia, they're like, "Oh, I should play it." I'm like, "It hasn't aged well." I'm just being honest. Like,
Yeah.
I don't think it's aged well. But for us
Mhm.
back in the day, it was fine. Like, we didn't have issues with it. We're like, "This is fun." But
Yeah, so like
Yeah.
Symphonia's story is like the best is my favorite or the best for me. But Abyss is just my favorite game of the series. I love the combat. The story is really good. The protagonist actually goes through an insane character development,
I
which is
100%.
really rare. Yeah.
Because I hated Luke, like, in the beginning. Like, Luke was
Oh,
just
me
insufferable.
too.
I think everyone hated Luke, and then he goes through his insane character development, and everyone's like, "Oh my god, I love Luke now. He's so good." Actual character development in this economy, holy.
In a
Something we're
Japanese
sorely
anime
lacking.
game?
Yeah.
Yeah, this had good plot twists too when it came to the I don't remember the name, the evil organization group.
I
What are
forget
they
what they were
called?
called.
Well, you had that, but you also had the whole like miasma thing where you're living like on this like crusted outer shell,
Yeah.
and all the old civilization was
Mhm.
underneath. Yeah.
Yeah, I had no clue how they were gonna fix that. Like, you knew, like, you had that continual dread that even though like the whole world is literally crumbling, and then you had the villain like try to replace everyone with clones as well, and it's like
Mhm.
there's almost no shining like silver lining in here. It's I don't know how they're gonna fix it, but yet somehow they do fix it, and the world is saved in the end. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah. That's why I want it to be remastered so bad. Like, I think it may be now because that one image that had Luke on the image for the anniversary
Yep.
thing. So I think it's alluding to that. But
Oh, yeah.
I'm just like,
People are losing their mind over that. They're like, "Why is Luke in this 30th
yeah.
anniversary like remastered thing with everybody else?"
So it gives
Why
me
is he like
hope.
in the center?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I just feel like so many people haven't played it because it's definitely older now. Like just looking at the dates on here, I'm like, wow, that came out in 2006. So I just feel like so many people haven't played it. So I'm really hoping it gets remastered so that way everyone could experience Abyss.
Joey, have you played Abyss?
No, I haven't. I think I want to say I think I got one Tales game for the PS2, and I wonder if that's it.
It's either that or Legendia.
Legendia, yeah. So, no, I actually looked up what Tales of Destiny for the PlayStation 1 is going for. It's going for $200, about $150.
Holy
Really?
moly!
Yeah, because I thought
what's Tales of Destiny 2 going for?
Dude, I do have Tales of the Abyss. I was like, all this is like sounding familiar because didn't they remake this for the 3DS?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So I have both those copies.
Nice.
Yeah, and I think wasn't one of the Vita games, was it Tales of the Hearts R? Wasn't that a remake of, or like a kind of like a remaster of one of the original ones?
Yes. Ours was the Japanese version was a Nintendo DS game.
Okay.
Tales of the Hearts. So
oh yeah, and they released it. Okay. Okay. Yeah, like almost like 7 years later or something like that. Whatever. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. No. 20 like Tales just literally had multiple games coming out in the year. Like I have the 19 on our list, but what you don't see are also all the spin-off games that came out, like the Tales of the World.
I was just looking at that on my app.
Yeah.
Radiant Mythology for the PSP.
Well, like looking at this list, that's crazy. It's like Tales of Legendia came out August 2005, ended a month, so almost September 2005, and then Tales of the Abyss came out December 2005. Like, how do you release two Tales of games like 3 months apart in the same year?
Yeah,
I think like 3 mobile games came out there too. I think that was when Tales of Breakers, Commons, and Weirheit. It's some weird W1. Where like 3 mobile games came out that they were trying to introduce a Tales of Mobile series in Japan as well, and those were like individual older looking Tales games. Well, my very first Tales game was Tales of Destiny, the first one that came in America, and it was not my favorite Tales game. I actually did not like it that much. So when Tales of Destiny 2 came out, it looked different enough that I decided to try that one. Mostly because it kind of had more of a colorful cover on it. And I was a lot more surprised about that one and really enjoyed Tales of Eternia. I felt like a lot of themes ended up being reused from Eternia into other games such as Symphonia, mainly like the elemental beings, the Ifrit, Undine, Sylph, like those characters were all in Tales of Eternia and kind of had that whole dual world story going on where the two worlds were clashing against each other. So that's the one that kind of got me into the Tales games. The one that I love, I will echo Taylor, is Tales of Symphonia is still my absolute favorite of it. I just loved the hard-hitting story of like just how racism and like how like this society was trying to be ethically cleansing of like the humans and just the war between the two worlds, and it just there was so much like going on. It was weird because it looked like it was supposed to be like a game for everyone, but it had very mature themes going on with it. You had these characters that interacted really well with each other, whether it be Lloyd and Colette, and they're like, you know, them like Lloyd trying to protect Colette, or Lloyd and Kratos, his dad. Then they're like estranged, like you abandoned me, but you know now like you're trying to come back, and I find out you're also trying to destroy the world, but you're also not trying to destroy it. Like, and of course I love the elements. Like any game that has those elemental summons, like I just love those in their individually themed dungeons. Symphonia was just so good.
Yeah, so that was another thing about Grace's F was that the summons weren't they didn't really do anything. Like you couldn't use them. I forget because I know Pascal had them, but it was like
you find a stone and all of a sudden you had the summon. It's like okay.
And I just feel like they honestly didn't seem very important overall in the game. You didn't really use them, but it's like in Symphonia, you use it like the summons to me just like they're a big focal point in the game, and I liked that part.
They were almost like gods that kept the energy of the land in their land. So, yeah. I will probably say though, I do have a soft spot for Berseria as well.
I couldn't finish Berseria.
You
really?
Interesting.
Yeah, I don't know why. I think I hit a wall halfway through, and I was like, I'm bored as hell. Like the story didn't hook me, which is sad because I heard obviously there's a lot of good things to be said about that game, but yeah, I don't know if I was getting
the villain in that game. That's the weird part about it.
That was interesting story beat, but I don't know. I think maybe I was getting a little bit of like Tales fatigue at this point because I had to convince myself to buy Tales of Arise. Like I'm like I should probably try to buy this game, and I enjoyed that. I enjoyed 75% of that game. I want to say the last 25% was padding.
I feel like a lot of people feel that way.
Yeah. That last act was like mostly exposition. And
I know it's like God.
Action.
Do we need to do this? Oh, anyway.
What you mean? You did like 40 minutes of exposition dump at the end?
Yeah, and then it's like, hey, you know, there's still villains out there. It's like, no, there isn't. We solved the problem.
Yeah.
We're good. We don't need to do anymore.
Yeah. No, I did like the villain though in that one. Like that was a conflicting game for me. Like I thought the premise was awesome, and again,
we're talking about Berseria or Arise.
Arise, where like all the lands were elementally like divided.
Yeah.
And then each one had their own like individual lord. and Volron was, I thought, a very exceptional enemy. Like, he had good reasons to be an asshole.
Mm-hmm.
I also felt the same way about Mythos in Symphonia. It's like, after you find out his backstory, you're like, you know what? I can see why you literally ripped the world in half. After what they did to you and your sister. But I think that's one of the things I really like about this game is that unlike other RPGs, the characters weren't all black and white. Like, they had motivations. Each villain, even the Abyss one, like, he saw himself as the hero in the story and was trying to, I guess, remove society that let his city down and end up getting destroyed. So it's like they weren't just, I'm evil except for Dios from Phantasia. That was like, I'm evil just to be evil.
Yeah.
Which has its place. Has its place.
It was the first one, came out 35 years ago. They didn't have room for big, storylines like that.
Yeah.
We do lack a lot of villains being evil for the sake of evil. Like, none of these redeemable villains.
Which is why I think that's why I think Octopath Traveler 0 is refreshing in that way, because they're just freaking evil right now. Maybe they had good intentions, but they sure as hell aren't being good. Anyways,
I feel like that's like a theme with a lot of villains nowadays. Is a lot of them have like sad backstories, or or go through a redemption arc and then they're no longer evil, or they have legitimate reasons, so you feel sympathy for the villain. So it is true that I feel like it's rare just to have someone who's just like, I'm just evil just because
I just hate everything.
Yeah.
I want to see the world burn. Why not?
Like I said, they have their place.
So what are some other elements that we kind of like that made Tales slightly different? Taylor and I both like the elements.
Well, something I'll say is, I feel like we've kind of talked about this on a different podcast, I think. But just for me, it was just the fact that it was multiplayer. I know a lot of people didn't have people to play with in person, because obviously growing up, online wasn't a thing back then. But obviously me and Josh and Amanda would just play the Tales of games together when we were growing up. Like, every time we got into it, we would just play the whole story together. It is super fun doing the combat together. Like, I love the multiplayer aspect of it. Because that was one thing about Arise that bothered me, was it was single player. And for me, that's like a turnoff, because I'm like, when I think of the Tales of games, I'm just like, oh, it's the game I'm playing with my brother and sister. Like, that's what I think of. So to me, that was like, some people don't care if you don't have people to play with. But it's just one of my favorites. Like, every time we play Tales of game, it's just me, my brother and sister, and we play through the whole story together. And it is so much fun in combat together. I'm always the healer. Just by default, it's like, I just play the healer, and sometimes I just love being the healer, because I'm like, I'm keeping you all alive and resin everyone. Like, I feel very important.
You are important in that case.
I am, yes, better than the computer healers, because when we were playing, I think it was Grace's F. I think there was one time Amanda and Josh were playing without me or something, and I remember I came home, Amanda was telling me how horrible it was. She's like, the computer healer sucks so much, and she's like, we missed you so much. I was like, I'm back now.
We talked about this in the Grace's podcast, where we were trying to start the post game dungeon, and the fight during it, or the fight that unlocked it, Tara had to leave, and the AI Shariat would just run into the enemy point blank and start casting on them, and then just get one shot. And we're like, you're supposed to be healing here. What are you doing?
Stoy, was there anything you thought that made Tales games more interesting than other RPGs?
For me, it was just the combat, the battle system. I just like the ability to combo. and to do like sinking actions and juggling enemies in the air was always so cool when you like nailed the right combo of just like knocking an enemy up in the air and then using someone else's special ability to just wreck the shit out of them. Like honestly, those battles were always so satisfying. And I like I said, for me, like craving something different than just the turn-based combat that I was, I had my fun with it. I think at this time that I discovered Vesperia, I was also playing Lost Odyssey, which was old school turn-based combat. And, to go for something a little bit more actiony was definitely something that was refreshing. And like I said, I just like how like, every game after that kind of kept the same formula, but added new different things. I want to say my one gripe with games like this, and the Tales games are very notorious for this, is that every character has to announce what attack they are doing by saying like, I'm doing the sparkling star shower. Hey, don't forget to heal. Use your healing items whenever your health is low. It's like, okay, I don't need all this talking. God,
I like that aspect. I don't know.
I don't know. For me, I tune it out. I tune it out eventually because I'm just like, they're saying the same shit over and over again. But I know, like in the beginning of every game, I'm just like, oh, God, here we go again.
I think I like it because then you know what they're casting. Because like in Tales of Symphonia, Amanda played Genus, and she always used indignation. And I don't know, and it was just like an epic moment.
Indignation,
yeah, indignation, and I was like, yeah, here we go, about to get an explosion. Like,
well, also you can tell because like it also like indignation always had this long like incantation. You're casting this. We start hearing Jesus. Then we were like, okay, here comes the big nuke.
Yeah.
But no, I realized like how bad this is when I was playing through the Xillia remaster. Because I played as Jude, and one of the skills you unlock early in the game is Palm Strike. It's like the fastest move in the game. It does like what like most of something like it does like some of the biggest damage in the game. And it's like the easily spammable skill. Also, you're here like palm strike, palm strike, palm strike, palm strike, palm strike.
Yeah,
palm strike.
I remember that. Yeah, you just awakened that. Yeah.
Oh my!
You just awakened that memory in my head. Yeah.
Wonder what movie he's going to use next. Palm strike.
Because in Xillia, when you spam a certain skill enough times, they're like, getting pretty unoriginal, aren't you? Or that's kind of boring, aren't you? And I'm like, I don't care. Palm strike. Palm strike.
Yeah.
Palm strike.
That's funny.
But yeah, some games it's really bad. Other games it's not as bad, but it's just funny. I never actually realized how crazy it gets in Xillia.
I think it's just something I never thought about because we've been playing the Tales of games so long. So for me, it's just part of the Tales of games. But I never thought about how it would be. I mean, we've all grown up playing it, but like, I'm curious from like an outsider's perspective. Like, if they were like, "Let me play this game," I'm curious if they're just like, "Why is everyone shouting their moves all the time?"
I mean, that is a JRPG trope.
Yeah.
Like, I totally get that. Like, it's sometimes it just like grinds in my head. It's just like,
and that way, I wish there was the early animes from like Sailor Moon to Dragon Ball.
Yeah, I know.
That's true.
I mean, it also needs to be like an anime trope in general because like even the anime fighting games are the same thing.
Oh yeah.
Like they don't shut up when you're fighting.
Yeah.
Tiger, uppercut, tiger.
Yeah.
Hadouken. Good old Street Fighter.
You don't have to say it. I see you doing the Hadouken. Jeez. Yeah.
All right.
I'll say something else that's kind of neat about these games too is I like the little skits. Like a lot of the Tales of games have the skits that pop up all the time, and a lot of them are really funny.
Some games have really good skits. Because when we were playing Graces, though, man, there were so many like off-kiltered ones.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Out of
some of
nowhere.
the Grace's F skits were like freaking funny. I was like, what is going on?
What I found hilarious about those is that the title almost had absolutely nothing to do with the skit. It could be like Desert Encounter, and all of a sudden they're talking about like who their favorite like female companion is or something.
I like how Arise kind of did something different a little bit with the campfire thing. Where like, you could kind of like pitch a campfire, and you can make food, and then it's like, hey, I'm gonna try to talk to this person over there and get to know him a little bit better. I thought that was an interesting new mechanic that the Tales games brought.
Yeah, no, I thought that was cool. I think, I mean, you mentioned the campfire and the food. I think that was one of the things I loved about the Tales games. Was kind of that every game had recipes in it.
Yeah.
And how you got those recipes always was interesting because it was like the Wonder Chef gave you had to find the Wonder Chef, the little like odd item that turned into a man like later on.
You don't have Ignis in your party saying, I just discovered a new recipe.
Dude, like,
No Ignis.
just like every time I hear the word recipe, like just hearing Pat say recipe, that's literally what popped into my head. It's like ruined me.
Yeah. Final Fantasy 15 ruined a lot of us.
But the meals look so good.
Yeah. Oh yeah, food porn.
Good old food porn.
That's one thing I miss in modern Tales games is the Wonder Chef. He just randomly disappeared, and he's never come back.
Oh,
I know. I mean, Tales of Rise had its own kind of Wonder Chef, but he was like, "Oh, you find him. He's like, "Oh, I'm famished. I need you to make this food." And then, then he goes into some weird Japanese like pose and had your team make pose with it. Like it's simply splendid. Yeah. Oh, those crazy designers. Well, with the 35th anniversary, one of the things that they announced was that they wanted to bring more Tales games. They wanted to remaster as many Tales games as possible. And we kind of been seeing that this year. We had the release of Tales of Graces. We also got Tales of Xillia. We just got announced Tales of Berseria. What are you guys' thoughts about this Tales Remastered project? Like, are they putting too much out there?
No, do it. Do it.
Doing it.
I mean, honestly, start going back to the PS2, games. I mean, obviously we saw Abyss on 3 pieces of hardware. But I mean, keep doing it. I'm all for. I mean, you've heard me say multiple times in this podcast, I'm all for games preservation and keeping games accessible for everybody. And while sometimes putting out a remaster is just easy money and can be kind of lazy, I think it's good, especially if somebody listens to this podcast and they're like, oh man, is there a way for me to play Tales of Destiny for the PlayStation? And then they come to find out that it's $200 on eBay. If there was a remaster for the PS5 or something like that, that's a much easier jump. That'd probably be like $40-$50. I mean, obviously anything's better than 200, but yeah, I mean, I'm all for it. I mean, the more people that can play these games, the better.
I know there was some like concerns about the whole remaster thing because it got announced as part of the 30th anniversary thing, and because people, and I guess there's been a lot of like mistranslation in regards to it, because people thought it was only going to go until December 2026 when the whole 30th anniversary thing ended.
Yeah,
but they had to clarify that. Oh no, actually, it's its own separate thing. Yeah, it was announced as part of the 30th anniversary, but it's not going to end when the 30th anniversary ends. It's going to keep going past it.
That makes sense.
Yeah, it's like, why would you be like, okay, we're going to fit as many remasters in a 1-year period, and as soon as we hit December 15th of 2026, we're done.
That's it.
Even if we're like in the middle of a project, that's it.
Yeah.
It's like,
and that's what pissed a lot of people off when Berseria got announced. or the Berseria remaster, because it's like, oh great, it's a wasted slot. We only have a year of this left, and you're wasting a slot on Berseria when it's already accessible on Steam and PS4.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, that's like my only gripe is I think they could have done better planning, because I do not think it was necessary at all to remaster Berseria.
I agree with that.
And I also don't understand why they didn't remaster Xillia 1 and 2 at the same time. Like, to me, that would have been better if they released Xillia 1 remaster and Xillia 2 remaster like as a package or together. Because I know initially, I don't think Xillia 2 remastered was announced yet. And they just came out with the Xillia 1 remaster. And I'm like, why would you remaster the first and not the second? Or not try to release them closer together and stuff like that?
What also annoyed a lot of people was during the PS3 days when they had, they released Xillia 1 and then they released Xillia 2, and then later on they released them together as a dual package. And people are like, you already have this dual package available. Why didn't you just do it for the remasters? Yeah. Why just separate them again?
Yeah, I'm not sure about that. My understanding about this whole Tales of Remasters, there are multiple teams working on this. And the idea is when a team is done, they are releasing the game. So it's not that way. They're not holding things up in the pipeline. So that's why things are not going to necessarily fall into chronological order. And also there are issues with finding the source code. So it's going to be easier to remaster the earlier ones than it is probably for the later ones. But it's not like they aren't trying to do that. It's just those teams are being able to finish their product first, and therefore Berseria gets to go out before Abyss.
Yeah, I heard the same thing because I didn't know there was multiple teams. And then when Graces came out, people were like, "Oh yeah, Team A worked on Graces, and then Team B did Xillia, and then apparently Team C did Berseria." But the whole source code thing is what has some people a little concerned, because in the past, Square has admitted that they lost the source code for Final Fantasy VIII. So they had trouble. Yeah, and Tactics. So people are like, oh god, what if they lost the source code for Abyss or the PS1 games or these older games? What's going to happen now?
Emulation.
Yeah.
That's how they pulled. My understanding is that's how they got the Final Fantasy Tactics code, was they had to use an emulated software to get that, and then they rebuilt it from that.
Yeah.
So
I am curious because Josh, you mentioned that there was issues with the Xillia remaster. What were the problems it was having?
It did get patched recently.
Yeah, it got patched a couple of days ago. So one of the issues was the in combat movement was extremely finicky. It had no dead zone. So if you're trying to move, you're trying to push left or right, you could accidentally jump. Do stuff, and then some of the sound effects and voices are really muffled or get drowned out. They weren't scaled up.
Oh,
because during Xillia, you're constantly having the palm strike or people casting stuff, and then you'll have the characters talking while the battle's going on, but their voices are being drowned out by all the palm strike and whatnot.
Oh,
whereas that wasn't the case on the PS3 version. And then
that's interesting.
Yeah, and then there's one problem that they haven't fixed yet, which is the skits. So apparently the skits are tied to frame rate, and for whatever reason they didn't fix it for the remaster. So if a lot of skits proc at once in a certain town, you'll get one to pop up, and the rest won't pop up for 5 or 10 minutes. So you're forced to just wait around so you're forced to just wait around in town for however long for them to pop up. And it kind of messes with the setting and whatnot, because some skits are very pivotal to the story or the current story. And it's you'll get them way past the point that you passed that part of the story.
Yeah, it just makes me wonder why they would release it with that issue. Did they feel rushed to get it out? Because like it's like if you're gonna remaster a game, we should make sure it's done well. So I guess that would be another gripe because it's like, why would you have released it if there's all these issues? Clearly, people had that played through it to do
state of video game
testing.
development these days.
Yeah,
like rushing it out. I guess
We'll just patch it later.
Yeah, there's also apparently another issue. There's apparently another issue with at least the Steam version, where a lot of enemy projectiles or character projectiles are also based on frame rate or scale with frame rate. So the game was the remaster was designed to be 60 FPS, but if you turn the FPS down to 30 or increase it to 120, projectiles either come to an absolute crawl or they just fly across the screen.
Super Hadouken.
Yeah. I saw a video where Muse was trying to cast like these 4 elemental orbs against the player, and on 30 FPS they're just flying all over the screen. They're just like going all over the place. Bro, on like 60 or whatever, and then on 120 they're like
that's
slowly moving towards you.
And there, just wait there, okay?
Yeah, eventually I'll get to you.
It'll hit you eventually. The guy's just like like it frozen in place. It's slowly.
Austin Powers. Yeah.
I was thinking of the Austin Powers, like literally what I thought about.
Yeah, that's what the 120 is. He goes down the one side and it was like, okay, how long is it going to take? Okay, they'll eventually get to me. Most of the time, they end up despawning before they even reach you. But
oh man,
yeah, there's just some funny quirks and whatnot with the frame rates that I'm hoping they fix soon. Otherwise, the game is perfectly playable now.
Well, maybe they should take their time and try and get these things. Like, I'm appreciative that they are getting the remasters out, but if we're gonna get issues like that, they should at least take some quality like checks before saying, okay, we're not moving to Xillia 2 without fixing Xillia 1.
Yeah,
like
that's what one people have for Xillia 2 is because like Xillia 1 had these like control issues that people are assuming that the same team is working on Xillia 2 and those same issues might transfer to Xillia 2.
I will be upset because I love Xillia 2. It's one of my favorites. So
yeah, don't screw that one up.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, hopefully the Tales series will continue to run. Hopefully everyone gets to experience this with the remaster project. And hopefully we all get our favorite games. And I would like to see some of the Japanese-only ones come to America. I don't know if that's going to happen anytime soon. But that's my hope. To try out games like Tales of Innocence and Rebirth. And even Hearts, because I've never played Hearts before.
Is there a rumor?
Give us the real Destiny 2.
Yeah. I was going to say, is there any sort of update as of like any new title coming up?
No, they just when they originally had an interview, I think back in October, there were 4 suggested. There was the Xillia, which came to Xillia 2 remaster, and 2 unannounced ones. One just recently being Berseria. So people think the second one is Abyss based on artwork that was recently released.
Okay. I would love that.
Yeah.
I would love that one. I just didn't know if maybe they were, going to be cooking a new game longer in the oven just in favor of these remasters.
They also said they're making a new game.
Oh, they are? Okay, I got it. All right.
Yeah. They don't have information to be announced.
Yeah, the interview was the interview talked about how they were doing Xillia 2. They were doing 2 remasters, one ended up being Berseria. And then they're working on a new game. And people think that they waited this long to start working on a new game is because I guess they developed a new in-house engine. And they're going to be using that for the new game.
Hopefully that's the case and not the fact that they were focused on the mobile one that they decided to like just get rid of like halfway into development.
Oh yeah.
They had this one called like Tales of Lumeria, where it was literally 21 playable characters, each having like episodes and like several chapters in those episodes.
dang.
And all 21 characters got their first chapter, and then they just stopped production of the game. And it's like, no, and cut the server. So it remained unfinished.
Maybe don't do 21 characters. That's way too much to update.
Yes.
Do that.
That's a lot.
Yeah. Well, thank you guys for listening, and thank you, Josh, for joining us again with another Tales episode.
Thanks for the invitation once again.
We need to figure out a Tales game to try out here again very soon and talk about, whether it be Xillia or Berseria, or heck, even Symphonia again. I don't know. That'd be.
I should get back into Symphonia.
Yeah. Berseria would be a good excuse for us to play it because Sarah never played Berseria.
Really?
And so she lived in California when it came out, so Men and I played through it together. And then we played through it again like a few years ago, but she never got a chance to play it. And it would be like the perfect excuse to play it because we've always praised like the characters and the story for Berseria.
Yeah, I watched them play because Berseria is the one that's the prequel to Zestiria, right?
Yep.
Yeah, because I watched them play Zestiria a little bit. It was just hard because obviously when I moved to California, I could never play with them anymore. So they played a lot of Tales of games without me when I was there. But whenever I would fly home, I'd watch them play. So I watched them play a little bit of Zestiria, so I was aware of the characters and the story, and Amanda would fill me in on that. So when they were playing Berseria, Amanda would try to tell me what was going on because she was like, "Oh, this is this person," like she was like, I knew enough about Zestiria that she would tell me what was going on in Berseria, so clearly I could understand. But I never played it, but everyone raves about it. Like I know Stoy got bored and quit, but everyone else, I just feel like most people highly praise Berseria, so I'd be excited to play that one.
So it's just too much of a paragon. Being a bad guy wasn't his style.
Maybe that was it. I don't know. This is making me feel icky.
Why does everyone hate me?
Yeah, I don't like this.
Yeah. No. Just kidding. Cool. Well, maybe when Berseria comes out, we can talk about possibly playing through that and then having an episode on that because it'd be fun. I enjoy talking Tales. It's a guilty pleasure.
Yeah.
And we gotta get
all
the
this talk
run
is
back
making
after.
me want to fire up Vesperia again.
Oh, do it.
Yeah.
Do it.
I'm hoping to get back to Xillia after I finish Prime 4. But no, this would be a good excuse to get the run back after we never finished Grace's F. We got halfway through the future arc and then we dropped it because people just got bored.
Yeah, I felt bad. I actually enjoyed the future arc more than the entire game, but
really,
we just got busy.
Yeah, I did tell him though that because I finished platinum the game, but I did make a bunch of save files. So we still have our original unfinished save file, and then I have save files for the post game dungeon, the cameo battle, and the super ultra final boss that is powered up level 225 for him and stuff like that. So.
Oh, that was something I didn't mention. Whenever we play Tales of games, we always put it on the hardest
difficulty. Yeah.
Yikes.
And some of these battles, it takes 20 minutes just to kill the boss because they have so much HP on the hardest difficulties, overwhelming amount of HP, and they take so long to kill. And there were some bosses in Grace's F we died on several times, 10 times or something, and I remember I was getting cranky at one point because I was like, can we just lower the difficulty? This isn't fun anymore. And then Josh was like, no, we'll keep it at the hardest difficulty. I was gonna lose my mind. I was getting so cranky.
Thankfully it was only one boss, but I don't know if Amanda ever showed you the picture.
It was the slime boss, the slime queen.
No, it was the parasite.
No,
and the Rakagon.
Oh, the Rakagon.
Because when you killed the mother, she spawned 10 babies, and the babies would insta-cast on the hardest difficulty, so you couldn't do anything. If you tried to revive somebody, you would instantly die.
Yeah, they were just scary. Because it's just if there's that, I think that was the issue with the bosses, is the ones that did summons, if it was a lot of summons, we were just constantly getting hit, and I couldn't heal anyone. Every time I tried to cast, I was getting beat up, and I was like, I'm useless, man. What am I doing? Wasn't good.
So when I was playing through the Xillia remaster, I never knew about this until the remaster came out, but Xillia has an unknown difficulty that apparently was locked behind New Game Plus in the original version.
Oh.
And so when I was playing through Xillia remaster, I was playing through on unknown New Game. And I sent a picture to Amanda where I fought Zhao in the forest, and that fight took 38 minutes to beat.
Holy frick.
Only because he never stops summoning ads, and he one-shots all your allies.
That's crazy.
Ads are like,
That's crazy.
So,
I hate ads.
You have
Seriously,
good patience.
I mean, it happened with Claire Obscure. I played on expert mode for Claire Obscure, and some bosses were taking like almost an hour because I was massively under-leveled. And I'm like, I'm too stubborn for this.
Yikes.
You know what?
Yeah.
I can see that it is a family thing after talking to Taylor about her Silk Song just being able to one hit like bosses, or just be able to like the boss that took me like 3.5 hours to beat, Taylor beat in like 5 tries with a level 0 needle.
Yes,
and that's just like I almost hung up my gamer's hat right there and then. I'm like, I can't do this anymore. Okay, well,
we're all stubborn in our own ways.
Yes, we are.
We're gonna get out of here. Josh, thanks again for joining. Taylor, Stoy, thanks for hanging out with me tonight and talking about this. It's been fun as always. Thanks everyone for listening, and thank you for the Patreon subscribing, getting this a week early, and for the rest of you who hung out for this long, we appreciate you, and we will catch you later.
Bye.
See you guys.
If you want to see how you can become a Patreon producer, head on over to patreon.com/Boss Rush Network. The Patreon producers for this month are Adriel Munger, Austin Campbell, Celeste Roberts, Sana Dierig, Francisco Santillan, and Christian S. Thanks for your continued support of the Boss Rush Network.